Welcome in to Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan Lugo. Thank you so much for tuning in. Recording early on a Saturday morning before the USA takes on the Netherlands in the World Cup. It's not even light outside yet here in Jacksonville, Florida. But I'm coming out with you with some keys to victory for the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Detroit Lions in Week 13. A matchup between 4-7 teams, two teams with total buy-in, despite records that are less than stellar at this point in the season. But two teams that have been relatively hot as of late. Lions have won 3 of 4. Jaguars have won 2 of 3. How do the Jaguars take care of business in this one? Obviously, it starts with Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence. You expect them to play well, or you expect Trevor to play well. You expect Doug to come up with a quality game plan for Trevor Lawrence and the offense. What are our other keys to victory, though? I think Chad Muma and Devin Lloyd are potentially going to be huge for the Jaguars in this contest. And yes, I think both of them. Why? Because if I'm Detroit, I'm trying to come out and dictate 3 off-ball linebackers on the field. How do you do that? Big personnel packages. You talk about getting multiple tight ends on the field, 2, 3 tight ends. And then that forces the Jaguars into matching that sort of personnel. If the Detroit Lions do that, and Chad Muma and Devin Lloyd are both on the field with Foye Oluokun, Devin needs to know what his assignment is, and he's had a difficult time as of late trying to make sure that he's on his P's and Q's and that he's getting his assignment done. He's getting his job done. What have teams done to trick Devin Lloyd and confuse him? A lot of eye candy type of stuff, right? Screens, misdirection, motion, chip and release, play action. All these things have kind of had Devin Lloyd swimming against the current a little bit here. So if the Lions do dictate 3 off-ball linebackers and Devin Lloyd has to be on the field, he's going to have to play better. And I mean, you saw him last week. I thought he played a little bit better overall, but a Devin Lloyd mental mistake led to an easy touchdown for the Baltimore Ravens last week. So Devin Lloyd needs to avoid the mental mistakes, and Chad Muma just needs to continue progressing, right? He's going to get more reps than Devin Lloyd, assuming the Jaguars aren't in 3 off-ball linebacker personnel for most of this game. I don't think they'll be on the field together the whole game, but I do think Detroit is going to try to dictate getting them on the field at times. But Chad Muma, he's going to be on the field more than Devin Lloyd, I think. He needs to just continue to build off what he's done over the last few weeks, because I think he's been a calming presence. As Jaguars defensive coordinator Mike Caldwell mentioned earlier this week, he's made it easier for Foye Oluokun to thrive. I think Foye had his best game as a Jaguar last week against the Ravens in a really difficult assignment. So if Devin Lloyd's on the field, he needs to make sure he knows what he's doing, and he needs to make sure he doesn't fall for the eye candy. Same thing for the young linebacker in Chapman, but 2 young guys, 2 rookies, high-value picks that I think are going to have a great future in Jacksonville, but they have a tough assignment this week against a Detroit Lions offense that's really talented and knows how to take advantage of their opponents. I think Travis Etienne, talking about one of the most explosive backs in football right now. He was sidelined last week with a foot injury, same foot that he had the Liz Frank in last year, unrelated injury, according to the Jaguars. He says he's good to go. It looks like he's going to be good to go in this one. If he's on the field and he's healthy, he needs to have a big game, because the Detroit Lions, they struggle to stop the run. They're allowing 5.2 yards per carry on the season, and Travis Etienne can be a guy that can help the Jaguars a little bit in the clock department in terms of time of possession. Jaguars have struggled in that area this year. I think if you're going to beat the Lions, you can kind of keep their offense off the field a little bit, keep your offense on the field. Travis Etienne helps you do that. Trayvon Walker, first overall pick, right? You've also got Aiden Hutchinson for the Detroit Lions. I think Trayvon Walker needs to have a game here, right? You've seen him earlier in the season have some pretty big outings for the Jaguars. Since week 3 or 4, though, he's been fairly absent. I know he picked up a big holding call last week, was able to draw a hold against the Ravens left tackle late in that game, which was huge for the Jaguars. no doubt about it. But this is a guy who needs to affect the quarterback more. I want to see Trayvon Walker in a game that a lot of people are going to be paying attention to because you have the first overall pick and the second overall pick. Both are playing on the edge. I think a lot of people are going to be tuned into this matchup and keeping an eye on what Trayvon and Aiden are doing. I think Trayvon needs to have a big game, not just for his own personal growth, but for the Jaguars' pass rush to reach its potential. For the Jaguars' pass rush to be what it can be, Trayvon Walker needs to make more of an impact. And I think he can in this game against Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker, but that's going to be difficult. So I'm also putting this on Mike Caldwell. You got to get Trayvon Walker moving around this formation a little bit more, in my opinion, not just in alignment, but also with these twists and stunts up front that you've run pretty effectively, getting Trayvon Walker matched one-on-one with a head of steam up against a guard. That usually creates a mismatch, allows the Jaguars to create some interior pressure. So Trayvon Walker, he needs to have a game. I think Mike Caldwell needs to help him have a game. You've got to bring your hard hats, too. The Jaguars are a team that have struggled to tackle throughout the year. They miss a lot of tackles. The Lions have two really good running backs. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a tough tackle as well. Justin Jackson's playing some decent ball as well as their third running back. This is a rough and tough Lions football team on both sides of the ball. They're fiery, they're feisty, they emulate their head coach, Dan Campbell. You have to bring your hard hat in this game. If you don't match the physicality of the Lions, they can absolutely make it for a long day for you. I think the Jaguars do a good job of matching physicality generally. They did a really good job of it last week, in my opinion, but they're going to have to do it for a second straight week against the Detroit Lions here. And then I mentioned Amon-Ra St. Brown. What's your plan for him? Is it going to be Darius Williams man-to-man coverage all day? You're going to try to bracket him? Or you're going to try to just have zone coverage and work it that way? I don't know what the best plan is for stopping Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't think many teams have figured it out throughout his 2-year career now. But he's going to be moving around the formation. How are the Jaguars going to slow him down? Because he is one of the keys to their offense. He and the running game are the big threats that you have to worry about for the Detroit Lions offense. If you have a quality plan for Amon-Ra St. Brown and you don't let him beat you, I think you have a chance to slow their offense down and stop them from putting up 30-plus points on you. So those are my keys to victory. Again, Chad Muma and Devin Lloyd, particularly Devin Lloyd, when he is on the field, he's got to be more assignment sound than he has been. You got to get Travis Etienne going against a run defense in Detroit that has not done a good job this year, allowing 5.2 yards per carry. You need Trayvon Walker to get going. One way to help him with that, Mike Caldwell, you got to get him moving around the formation. You got to get him on the move. Bring your hard hats. You got to tackle. You got to play physical up front on both sides of the ball. And then again, figure out how to contain Amon-Ra St. Brown. Those are my keys to victory on top of what you expect every week, which is Doug Peterson to call a good game and Trevor Lawrence to play good football at the quarterback position. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit me up on Twitter at Jordan DeLugo, Generation Jaguar at Generation Jag. You can hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube if you enjoy the content. And of course, if you want to pick up some new Duval gear, genjag.com. You can also become a channel member to support what we're doing here. Your support means the world to me. Could not be doing this without y'all. Thanks for tuning in on a Saturday. Got Team USA coming up. Fired up to watch that one. Hope you guys are too. Have a good one, Duval.